I know nothing about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn, number one. Number two, this is all about diversion. This is a game this guy plays all the time. The country is in crisis. We're in an economic crisis, a health crisis.
But you were reported to be at a January 5th, 2017 meeting where you and the president were briefed on the FBI's plan to question Michael Flynn over those conversations he had with the Russian ambassador Kislyak.
No, I thought you asked me whether or not I had anything to do with him being prosecuted.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was aware that they asked for an investigation, but that's all I know about it.
Is that all he knows about it? We will find out. Kayleigh McEnany joins us right now from the White House. She's actually the press secretary now. Kayleigh, great to see you.
Good to see you, Brian.
Just get your take. Good to see you. Just get your take on Good Morning America's interview with Joe Biden as it relates to Michael Flynn. Is it a distraction to bring up the Michael Flynn case? And do you have answers that you need to get from Joe Biden?
Yeah, look, it is not a distraction to bring this up. Anytime the FBI writes down on a piece of paper asking whether their motive in interviewing someone, if their end goal is to, quote, get someone to lie, in this case, getting Michael Flynn to lie, that should trouble each and every American. And they go on to say, so that we can get him fired. This is incredible what the FBI did. And again, it's not our hardworking rank and file at the FBI. Those men and women are heroes. This was some of the top officials in the Obama era, and there are very real questions now that we know that President Obama was aware of the Flynn unmasking and the former vice president too.
All right, so today you have top White House health officials that are going to be testifying in front of the Senate, in front of a Senate committee today. And Senator Schumer, Dr. Fauci is one of those that's going to be testifying. And Senator Schumer had advice for Dr. Fauci before he testifies. Listen to this.
Until now, we've mostly heard from the members of the coronavirus task force through the distorted lens of the White House press conference, where the president often prevents them from answering fully, interrupts their response, or even contradicts their fact-based advice. This will be one of the first opportunities for Dr. Fauci to tell the American people the unvarnished truth without the president lurking over his shoulder. Dr. Fauci, let it rip.
Fauci has been saying that he's worried if we open too soon, it could cause the pandemic to come back. We're all worried about that, but we also want to get back to work. But then when you hear Schumer talking like that, he's trying to pit the president, it seems, against Fauci and Fauci against the president. Aren't they? So they're working together, right?
Well, look, yes, absolutely. Dr. Fauci is here each and every day at the White House. So is Dr. Birx. So are medical experts on the task force who routinely, at least until recently, the task force has been at about every other day, but every day have been meeting. Perhaps Senator Schumer was napping every Sunday morning when we put Dr. Fauci out on the Sunday shows, when we put Dr. Birx out on the Sunday shows. They have routinely had an opportunity to speak directly to the American people. And when Dr. Fauci has been given that opportunity on your very network, Ainsley, on March 23rd, he said, quote, the administration's response has been, quote, impressive, and he can't imagine under any circumstance anyone doing this better. President Trump has led. Dr. Fauci has recognized that. Dr. Birx has, because they've all seen behind the scenes over in the West Wing the extraordinary work of this administration.
Yeah, you know, stories are out that apparently China, the country of China, wants to reopen trade talks with the United States because they're in terrible financial health right now. But apparently the president's saying, nope, not going to do it because, as we have heard him repeatedly, he thinks China is the reason that they have infected the entire world with this thing, and they simply were not forthcoming with that. Is that accurate? China wants to reopen, and now it's like, forget about it?
Yeah, the president has said he has no interest in reopening the China trade negotiations. And what an acknowledgement by China of the great work of this administration. The fact that they want to renegotiate the deal because they know that they negotiated with the great deal maker, President Trump, who got an extraordinary deal for the American people. China buying $250 billion worth of American goods. The China tariffs giving us the ability to give billions to America's farmers and to purchase agricultural products. This was a big win for the American people. It appears that based on that evidence. China knows that. But President Trump has no interest in renegotiating, especially given that China put American lives at risk at the beginning of this pandemic.
Right. So the sparring continues with the press corps, and I want to talk about China after this because the president has made a move to pull out our financial, some pensions out of China and their investment there. But this was an exchange towards the end of yesterday's briefing. Let's listen.
You've said many times that the U.S. is doing far better than any other country when it comes to testing.
Yes.
Why does that matter? Why is this a global competition to you if everyday Americans are still losing their lives and we're still seeing more cases every day?
Well, they're losing their lives everywhere in the world, and maybe that's a question you should ask China.
Why are you
Don't
saying
ask
that?
me, ask China that question, okay? When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer.
Sir, why are you saying that to me specifically?
I'm
That I
telling
should
you,
ask
I'm not
China?
saying it specifically to anybody. I'm saying it to anybody that would ask a nasty question
That's
like
not
that.
Do you want to expand on that? I guess she was just saying that maybe the president was saying that because she's Asian. Did that figure into that at all?
No, that's a ridiculous assertion. But what I would note is leave it to members of the White House press corps to make it about them, to take a question, to turn around and somehow say, how dare you ask this of me, me, me? Well, guess what? It's not about me. This is about the American people. President Trump says, ask China about this, ask China about the fact that they slow-walked information that alongside the WHO that American lives were put at risk. China has some real questions to answer here, but leave it about the White House press corps to make it about themselves.
All right, Kayleigh, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Enjoy the day. Hear the birds chirping.